afternoon, it's race recap time. So XTERRA Whistler was last weekend and it was so much fun. It was wet, it was raining, it was mountain biking, it was just awesome. So we arrived Friday morning, was able to pre-ride the entire bike course with technical difficulties, but we were able to resolve those. And then Saturday was the kids race, so it was ages 5 to 15, I believe. It was pretty brutal. It rained the entire duration of the course. Pretty much 30 minutes before the race started pouring, and did not stop until the last racer finished. So that was rough for the kids, but pretty awesome to see them all still persevering and having fun, and even though they were crying, they were still going, so it was pretty sweet. Sunday was the adult race, so it started at 9:30, which was the most relaxed start time I've ever had, and it was really nice. So we got up, we went over to transition, got our bikes in, got everything ready. Transition closed about an hour before our race, so you had everything in there at 8:30 because the sprint distance started before us. So yeah, at 9:30 the race started and we jumped into the swim, and I started kind of in the middle. I didn't want to start at the front, obviously, and I didn't want to get left behind, so I started in the middle. And it went really well. Yeah, it was a 2-lap swim. So the first lap, you just kind of like trying to find your rhythm, try not to get run over. I haven't swam 1,500 meters in my training. I've been doing probably up to 1,200 meters. So it took 33 minutes, and my goal was 34 minutes. So it took, I think, 33:58 or just under 34 minutes. So I was really happy with that. Transition was pretty smooth, just like I had practiced. A little bit colder than I had practiced with, but I was still able to get my shirt on and do my shoes up and all that jazz. If I were to improve that transition, I would obviously just have a tri top on, but I thought it would be warmer to put a t-shirt on after, so I did that. But yeah, pretty quick through transition and then out onto the bike. And the first lap of the bike course is super jammed up, especially coming from a little bit behind on the swim. So there was a lot of, like catching up to people, trying to find a spot to pass, and it goes between single track and double track. So you definitely had to find appropriate places to pass, which was fine because you had to kind of like get yourself warmed up and oriented, and you'd kind of accelerate and then you would recover and accelerate. So it's kind of like doing intervals almost. Yeah, but it was super fun first lap. There's just so many people around and you're always jockeying for position, and yeah, it just makes it kind of exciting. And then the second lap was really quiet. I felt like I was in no man's land a lot of the time. There was hardly anyone around me, so it was kind of off-putting. I wasn't sure if I was going fast enough, and yeah, my splits ended up being very similar. I think the second lap was only two or 1 minute slower, so it all evened out, but definitely felt weird. Oh yeah, I dropped a gel on my first lap of the bike pretty early on, but I had just made a big move to pass a bunch of people, so I opted to not stop to pick up the gel and hope that it would be there on my second lap, and it was. Thank goodness, because that was my last and only gel. I knew I should have put one in transition just in case I needed another one for this run, but I didn't, so I really needed that gel, and thank goodness it was still there. It wasn't crazy technical or anything, so it was pretty fast, pretty flowy. There was one hike-a-bike section that was pretty intense. It was, I don't know, 500 meters, maybe not that long, but it felt like it. And you had to do it on both laps, so it was a pretty intense little hike-a-bike. I thought I was going to be able to bike a portion of it, but it was just too slippery, and by the time you got on your bike, started riding, there'd either be someone riding up your butt or you'd catch up to someone who was walking and then you couldn't pass anyway, so I just opted to hike it and it was fine. So into transition, again, felt really smooth, just like practiced. Just took bike shoes off, run shoes on, socks, and then grabbed my other stuff and left. And I decided to take half a flask of E-Load or a Scratch with me on the run, which I'm really glad I did, because I did not have another gel, which I should have taken in hindsight. So I was really glad to have the extra calories and the sugar and the Scratch. So I just shoved that in my... The transition onto the run course, it starts at some really flowy single track, so it was super fun, good to get the legs warmed up. And there's quite a few people that I was able to pass right at the beginning, so that was good. It kind of helped me get my momentum up. It just makes you feel like you're running fast, which is a bonus. So that felt good. The first 2.5K pretty flat, and then there was a big climb. It was actually a pretty serious climb. It was probably like 2 or 3K, pretty steady, very runnable for sure. Just kind of like a grinding switchback around the backside and up. Yeah, it was definitely longer than I thought it was going to be, but totally fine. There was quite a few people walking around me, so I had to just keep running, keep moving. Yeah, and then once I hit the high point, I knew that there was only about 3 or 4 kilometers left, and I still hadn't caught my dad yet, so that was my goal, to catch my dad. And I knew that he was ahead of me, but he's really fast on the down, so I wasn't sure if I was going to catch him. But so I was going, flying down the hill, and then with about a kilometer to go, I caught him. He was having some cramping issues, unfortunately, so I managed to catch him, and then I had to push to stay ahead of him. And the final section was super fun, really technical, little single tracks. Yeah, super fun. And there's quite a few people around still, so there's lots of back and forth going. And then, oh, and I did, bonus, I managed to do a trail run pee. Not like stop to pee, but I managed to pee while running, which I thought was pretty exciting. I've never done that before. Postpartum, some things like that are a bit easier to do. Be able to relax a bit more. So anyways, that was a fun bonus, and I did it in the swim too, so I was pretty stoked for that. Sorry if you were around me, but it's racing. Anyways, so yeah, finished the race, and these 2 guys right ahead of me were duking it out. They were sprinting down the grass, and then people standing on the sidelines were like, the grass is wet, the grass is wet. I'm like, okay, it's fine, I'm not gonna sprint, there's no one around me. But the one guy ahead of me ate it so hard coming around the corner. So I finished in a time of 3:33, I believe, right around 3:30, which was pretty much right on my time estimates, but really happy with that finish. It was so much fun. Yeah, mountain biking is awesome. Trail running, short trail running is really fun because you get to go fast and hard, and then it's over in an hour, which is kind of a nice change from all the ultras that I've been doing, where you're out for like 6+ hours and it just hurts for the majority of the event. Yeah, so it was super fun, and I definitely want to do another one. My other goal was to qualify for the XTERRA World Championships, which is next year in Italy in September. You had to get first in your age group or podium, and I got second in my age group, unfortunately, so it's possible to roll down if the other female in my age group doesn't accept it. But if not, I definitely will do another one to try and qualify anyways, because it was super fun, and I think it would be awesome to go to Italy for the World Champs next year. So we'll see what happens. And now we're just on a little vacay in Courtenay, BC, Vancouver Island. We're house sitting for a friend, and it's been super fun so far. So it's a great week. All right, see you later.